Hello, all teachers in Scottsdale and certified staff. My name is Roni Asali, and I'm the SEA president. And I'm coming to you to clear up some miscommunication and to further elaborate as to what happened earlier today through Meet and Confer. You had gotten an email today, whether it's from Dr. Peterson and or the Meet and Confer team, talking about 301 monies a little bit, talking about specials, talking about walking out of Meet and Confer and putting it on pause. I want to take the time to really give you the entire picture so we all know what's going on, that communication is very clear and concise. The first thing that I want to point out is some information about 301. So 301 monies it comes from sales tax, and it comes from the trust fund sales. So as the economy gets better, we get 301 money, and that 301 money is given at a per student amount. So last year we were in the low to mid 200s. This year, we found out just this past Thursday that we are getting approximately $310 for every weighted student count. What does that mean after the dust settles? It means that we're getting another $2.5 million that we just found out about Thursday from the state, and I just found out about from communication on Sunday. So this is a pretty fresh idea, which was great. We were very ecstatic because that meant Meet and Confer met today. Executive Board for SEA was going to meet next week. We would have some time to come up with a really good plan on how to maximize that money. So what is that money used for? Well, that money originally, 301 money, was used for teacher salary. It's broken into 3 buckets. One bucket is 20% of it goes towards base salary. 40% is in the second bucket, and that goes towards pay for performance. Some of you may remember that as a check at the beginning of the year about 4 or 5 years back. The other 40% of it is a menu option. So there's multiple things that money can be used for, such as reducing class size, etc. Scottsdale historically has always used that 40% to put into the base. What that means is that indirectly relates to vertical and horizontal move. Now, as the economy has slumped for the last few years, we have been frozen either vertically, horizontally, and or both. So now as the economy increases, the 301 money that is meant for teacher pay is going up a little bit higher at about $2.5 million. I wanted to share that to make sure everybody's very clear. $2.5 million that's coming in does not mean that the $9 million budget gap that we had to bridge somehow, we solved $2.5 million of it. That's not the case. There is still a $9 million budget gap, and we are still, as an organization, still pushing the district to keep the cuts as far away from the classroom as possible. This $2.5 million does not solve all of our problems because it's money that should go towards teachers. We will not balance this budget deficit on teachers' backs. That's not very fair, and that's not very right to do. With that said, an email was sent out to specials teachers today saying that the budget deficit and the cutting of specials rests in SEA's hands. No, it doesn't. That deficit really rests in the state legislators' hands, but it also rests at the district's hands because they still need to keep cuts as far away from the classroom as possible. And where they make those cuts, that money could be used to keep our teachers whole. So what we had in mind are a few things. We were thinking, we have no problem keeping specials. We have no problems fighting for teacher positions. We have no problem making sure that we have a 1% pay reduction that goes away. We support all of those things, and we'll continue to more than any other group out there. What we have a problem with is part of that cut includes an insurance cut. We take an insurance hit, and you might be looking at anywhere from a 0.5% to a 3% insurance increase. That is not okay. Another piece of that is some 301 money goes to the pay for performance, which could be a check up front at the beginning of the year. With that might necessarily happen. That is not okay. We were not satisfied with an email that went out that said SEA has the power to save all special teachers and to take away the 1% reduction. We want more, because if that's the only thing that happens, it means that the money that came in from the state, we've used, the money that was supposed to go to teacher pay, all of it, we have used all of it to balance some of these cuts. Now, we are still all in together, but I want to keep pushing the Ed Center to keep cuts as far away from the classroom as humanly possible, because it's not just those 2 things that we want. We need to make sure that insurance is at a minimum to little cost, because technically that's also a pay decrease. So we have to be really wary, and we have to be really careful when we say we don't agree with this. It's because it was a premature decision. Meet and Confer hadn't met. Exec board hadn't met. We had no idea what our options are and how we can really maximize this to ensure that teacher pay doesn't decrease, insurance doesn't decrease, and we save as many of our teachers as possible, which includes specials, nurses, and librarians. With that said, the Meet and Confer team this morning felt very disrespected and felt that the process was not organized and not respected, because after all the time those people took to meet and to plan and to take a look at what our interests are, an email was sent to specials teachers saying, hey, this could be saved and it wouldn't be a problem at all whatsoever. That is not okay. It needs to go to the people who have been making those decisions and who have been thoughtful with that process. Because of that, we were very, very frustrated. So we decided that we needed to take a break from the Meet and Confer process because it was a frustrating thing, and we needed to make sure that we calmed down and we cooled our heads so we can go back to the process and work on not only the money issues, but also things that are not monetary. And that's what we did. At 1 p.m., Meet and Confer reconvened and talked about several issues, and you'll be able to read about those in the minutes as well. So I just wanted to send this out to you because I just want you to be aware. Number one, this 301 money needs to go to our teachers. We want to help maximize the money that teachers get, and we have to maximize the number of teachers that we save. Those are our priorities. Number two, this money is in addition. We need the district to still give us some cuts that do not affect the school so they can offset some of those costs. The third thing is we are fighting really, really hard for every single group of employees. So despite what you might have heard or the rumor that might have been out there, we at no point said no to specials. We said we want a lot of things if you're expecting us to take the 301 money that our teachers have worked their butt off to earn and to save ourselves. I hope that clears some things up, and I hope you understand where we're coming from and how hard we're fighting for you and how important it is that we take a stand when things are not done in the right way. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is sea@susd.org. Thank you and have a great night.